Welcome to the Brian Craig Show. My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. Welcome, one and all. Well, Candace Owens, what she's doing to Erica Kirk is, without question, one of the biggest low-life things I've ever seen anyone do in media. Really, I mean, this is insane. This whole thing with Candace Owens, with Erica Kirk, it's almost like the days of tabloid TV, like Jerry Springer kind of stuff, right? Without the DNA testing. But you know what I mean, Maury Povich, Jerry Springer. Candace Owens has dropped a trailer for her investigative series that is coming soon. It's called Bride of Charlie, and it's disgusting. And Dan Bongino really stepped up today, and I'm going to play for you in a moment what Dan Bongino had to say about what Candace Owens is doing. And I'll tell you, all the frustrations that so many of us have with the inaction with the lawfare people, Dan Bongino has come back swinging and doing what the team needs him to do, away from being deputy director of the FBI. And what he did today was pretty amazing. Candace Owens, there's a lot going on with Candace Owens. We all know that. But, I don't think this is some big mystery, but don't most of you believe that she was in a relationship with Charlie Kirk? I always thought they were a couple when they were together at Turning Point. Didn't you guys think they were a couple? They seemed like a couple to me at that time. But regardless of that, Candace Owens, she feels entitled to be the front person for Turning Point USA after Charlie's death. And she feels that way for a number of reasons. One of which is she considers herself to be a founder of Turning Point USA. And to some extent she is. She, in the early days of Turning Point USA, when it became a nationally known organization, Candace Owens was an important part of getting the word out about Turning Point. So yeah, but there's a couple of reasons why Candace Owens was not invited back to Turning Point after the Never Trumpers assassinated Charlie Kirk. One is she's just gone nuts with the anti-Semitism and a lot of the other crazy things she's gotten involved in, and they don't want anything to do with that. And the other thing is, even if she wasn't getting all crazy with Erica Kirk right now, I wouldn't expect anyone's widow to want their dead husband's ex-girlfriend around. Would any of you ladies out there want your husband's ex-girlfriend hanging around when your husband's gone? I don't think so. But there's other reasons too. But she's going hardcore, and what Candace Owens is attempting to do is run Erica Kirk out of Turning Point USA. And I'm telling you, I'm not saying she's going to be successful with this, but I'm telling you what I believe her goal is. Candace Owens' goal is to get control of Turning Point USA. And if things continue the way they've been continuing, they're going to happen. Crazier things have happened. She's out there to discredit Erica Kirk, which is really a disgusting thing, okay? When it's bad enough when anyone loses a spouse. But when you're young, you're both a young married couple, you have young kids, and you lose a spouse, especially in a violent assassination that the entire planet saw in 4K. No one's seen anything like that again. I mean, ever, and hopefully we never do again. And the trauma that Erica Kirk is going through, on top of the normal grief of a young widow with young children, is so off the scale of imagination. There's only one person that I know of that's ever lived in this country who's had any experience similar to Erica Kirk, and that's Jackie Kennedy after President Kennedy was assassinated. And I think in many ways it's worse for Erica because there's so much media now that we didn't have back in those days. Jackie Kennedy she went off, she married Onassis and left the country because she was afraid. She was afraid for her children. That, they got Bobby, they got President Kennedy. She didn't feel her children were safe. So she married this uber rich guy. Onassis went off to Greece for safety purposes. Erica Kirk has got to be scared to death for herself and her children. You see how these crazy nuts on the left. I mean, there was another assassination attempt on President Trump over the weekend, right? A lunatic breached the perimeter and got on the grounds of Mar-a-Lago through the front gate. So there's a lot of these liberal never Trumper, insane, crazy people out there. And this latest Trump attempted assassin was motivated by the Epstein file conspiracy. So with Candace Owens getting all of this conspiracy nonsense going on against Erica Kirk is risking the life of her and others around her. But what Candace Owens' goal is, I believe, is this. She's trying to discredit Erica Kirk. She's trying to get the donors to stop donating to Turning Point. She's trying to get their Turning Point USA events attendance down. And I promise you, Turning Point probably is struggling now because they don't have Charlie there to deal with these billionaires for the fundraising. And the Turning Point tour around the country is not they're not as popular as they were either, right? So there's a lot going on and a lot of problems that Turning Point certainly are probably having financially. So Candace Owens' goal, discredit Erica Kirk, cause the donors to stop donating through this discrediting. And now again, I'm not, Candace Owens is not a rational thinker. So as crazy as this sounds, and then she wants to come in and take it over and be the savior and be running Turning Point USA. I really do believe that's what her goal is right now. And this Bride of Charlie obviously is a take off of Bride of Chucky, not Frankenstein, Bride of Chucky, I believe. And maybe a little bit of both. But the trailer she dropped is so disgusting, I'm not playing it here. She makes terrible accusations about Erica Kirk, and I don't think it's you guys could see it online. You may have already seen it. I'm not going to play it. The things she says about Erica Kirk are so bad. I feel like if I played it, I would be no better than her, really, in some way. So I'm not going to do that. But is it Bride of Chucky, Bride of Frankenstein? I think it's Bride of Chucky because the C and all that. But, I've just never seen anything like this before. It is in such... And, what's scary, there's a lot of people... Now Candace Owens... She has a big platform. Millions of people watch her, no doubt about it. Many millions will watch this investigative series. But not everybody that watches her disagrees and thinks she's nuts. There's a lot of rubbernecking for the train wreck or the semi-truck turned over on the side of the highway. But there's a lot of people that agree with it. I got a call from a woman a week or two ago who was giving me a hard time for criticizing Candace's attack on Erica Kirk and said, Erica's not doing what Charlie wanted. She's out there working. He said the wife should stay home. Well, she lost her husband. She's got to keep the place going. And there's another caller said, well, Erica's got to account for her whereabouts when Charlie was assassinated. I said, what? So there's a lot of nutbags out there that are buying in to this nonsense that Candace Owens is selling. And it's getting really bad. And I'll tell you, what she's doing here to Erica Kirk is just so disgusting. Now, this could change at any moment, but other than Dan Bongino, all these people that are supposedly are good friends of Charlie's have not stood up as of this moment. This could change in 5 seconds to Candace Owens, some of the big conservative influencers. And a lot of people are wondering why. Why not? I'll tell you why. They are afraid of Candace Owens. None of them want Candace Owens going after them like she's going after Erica Kirk. They're afraid of her. And I know that's how, and some people, what do they hide? I don't think all these people have something to hide necessarily. Maybe some of them do, but I don't think that's it. They're just afraid of her. And they know her personally, and they know things about her and things that she's done that we don't know. So maybe they have good reasons to be afraid of her. She has no, Candace Owens has no sense of common decency to do this in regards to Erica Kirk. Now, some may say, well, people talked about the Kennedy conspiracy and all of that. I do believe that there was a conspiracy in the Charlie Kirk assassination. I believe he was taken out by the Never Trumpers to destroy the MAGA movement, right? I believe that. Now, I don't think Erica Kirk and Turning Point were behind it, like Candace Owens is out there floating. I think it's the permanent Washington class, deep state types that did it. I think the same people were behind the assassination of Charlie Kirk, that shot the president in Butler, that tried to do it again at the golf course, and who knows what connections they have to these other things going on, like the Mar-a-Lago thing over the weekend. So, so don't misunderstand me, but not this. Not this. And part of the problem that we've had without Charlie Kirk around is what we've come to realize, or at least I've come to realize, is that Charlie Kirk was keeping these self-important conservative influencers on their toes and keeping them organized and not apart from one another, not getting out of line. And since Charlie Kirk was assassinated, a lot of these big-name conservative influencers have just been off the reservation doing crazy things, whether it's Tucker or Megyn Kelly or Candace Owens in the most recent case. And there was no one who could get them back on board and be respectable people until today with Dan Bongino. And Dan Bongino is doing the Lord's work here today. He responded to Candace Owens in the best way possible. And I'm going to share this with you, but a warning, Dan Bongino is dropping more F-bombs than you could imagine, okay? This is very salty language, a lot of F-bombs, and I can't do this on the morning show on the radio. There's just too many F-bombs, and so I'm doing it here on the podcast. But Dan Bongino, he's really stood up and defending Erica Kirk's honor against the woman that all these other guys that claim to have been Charlie's best friend, and you know who I'm talking about, there's several of them, are afraid to do, and that's stand up to Candace Owens and call her out. So word of warning, if you don't want to hear salty language and a lot of F words and profanities from Dan Bongino, mute the audio, okay? And don't turn on the closed caption either if you don't want to read it. So you've been warned. Here's Bongino today responding to Candace.
Fuck you.
There you go. There's more. I'll play the whole thing. But well said, Dan Bongino.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Go fuck yourself. You demonic fucking scum.
Oh, boy. No doubt.
For as much as I hate what just happened, I wish ill on no one, and everyone should restrain their emotions from the other side because they are not on our side. Everyone. Once you go down the road of violence, there's no turning back. There's always someone stronger than you, man. Always. There's a whole lot of people stronger than me. But I'm sorry if the language distracts from you, but I can think of no other New York way to say it than fuck you, motherfuckers. You deserve to feel the little licks of the flames of hell on every inch of your body.
Yeah, I mean, this is some pretty strong language. But we need a strong leader to get these out-of-control, psychotic, so-called conservative influencers back on track. And, this is not the way that I would normally approve of talking under these circumstances. And this isn't how Bongino would normally talk. But sometimes these are words that got to be used.
Fuck you. If there's an afterlife, and I believe there is, I believe in the second creation. I don't pretend to be the judge and jury, but I know you're not in it. I got to tell you, I've been doing this for a really long time now. And as I said in the beginning of the show, I walked into the dark forest. I didn't know where it was going to go. I did not have this all mapped out because I don't know what to say. People have tried being nice. People have tried screaming and yelling. People have tried a middle of the road approach. Nothing works. Ignore it, it metastasizes. Address it, it metastasizes.
Because catch-22, And out of these people that are in that Candace Owens circle there, he's the only one that to become the deputy director of the FBI, he was vetted like no one's business. So he's not afraid of Candace. The other ones are.
Wish I had the answer. I can only make decisions for me. I can't make decisions for you as to what you want to watch or what you don't. This isn't about views or who's popular or who's this. I don't care. I'm just telling you I'm making a decision for me now. I don't want to be any part of that. If you're part of that, please leave. If it is half my audience disappears tomorrow, good riddance. Sayonara, motherfuckers.
Wow. This is pretty gutsy stuff Bongino's doing.
I don't want you. Nobody else wants you here. The people who watch this show don't want you here. Sane people, and that is a majority of us, hate your guts. We don't want you. Nobody wants you. You were the spawn of Satan. I promise your parents, alive or dead, are looking at you now in horror that they spawned a demon.
By the way, if you want to share your thoughts on Bongino, you're welcome to. If you're watching live, you can call me live on the stream. The number is pinned in the live chat. Someone's got to stand up to Candace Owens. I'm sorry. What she's doing is so far over the line of common decency. Going at, Charlie Kirk, next to the president himself, Charlie Kirk was the second most important person in the MAGA movement. The organization and ground game that he put together wasn't all that he did with the youth vote. It was him. It was Charlie Kirk that worked with Barron to get the president on TikTok and got him to do things in a different way and made the re-election for this non-consecutive and second great term of President Trump's possible. He helped the president pick the current cabinet. And look what a great cabinet we have. He was the second most important person in the MAGA movement. Of course, the president's the most important. And to do what Candace is doing to anyone's wife who lost their husband in such a way is over the line. But this is a person that's supposed to be a friend of hers, Charlie Kirk. To do this to his widow and try to destroy his entire legacy and the organization that he built because you're some jealous ex-lover who's jealous that you're not the one everyone's fawning over on stage.
Your last name will live in infamy. Your kids will deny knowing you. I don't want anything to do with you. I see you out there. I know exactly what you're doing. You can just go. It's not an airport. You don't have to announce your fucking departure. Just go. I'm the anti-clicks view guy. I don't want you. Your views, your clicks, nothing. Don't buy anything. Don't do anything. Don't touch anything we do. Just go away.
Well said.
I know you can't because you have to spread your cancer everywhere.
Yep.
But we've got warriors in this audience too who don't want to listen to your fucking bullshit either. Are we clear with each other? You can just get the fuck out.
Oh, right. Oh, boy. So we'll see if Candace responds to that. You know, can a bully stand up to, can she stand up to him? You know, bullies usually cower out. But then again, Candace is a nutcase. Woo. That's some pretty hardcore language there. The MAGA movement is the greatest political movement of any of our lifetimes, arguably the greatest political movement in the history of the United States. You know, and I believe, you know, the MAGA movement, I've said many times, is not just a political movement. I consider the MAGA movement the greatest and largest civil rights movement in American history, because President Trump is leading all of the American people to freedom of oppression from the permanent Washington class, the deep state, and all of those people. We have this incredible bench of people to keep the MAGA legacy going. We have so many future MAGA presidents: Kristi Noem, Pete Hegseth, J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, and others. And we've got a handful of conservative influencers who are screwing everything up. Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson are the two prime suspects, okay? Or offenders. And they've been totally out of control, and they're on the top of the popularity chain, and there's no one that's been at their equal level that can call them out until today with Dan Bongino. Now, I'm with you. I'm very upset that we don't have Comey and Brennan and Clapper locked up, okay? And there's a lot of frustration when it comes to the FBI on this and the Justice Department with Bondi and everything else. But I'll tell you, anything I was upset with Bongino, he's redeemed himself today, hasn't he? Mm-hmm. He was just in the wrong job. Now he is in the herding of lunatic cat business, herding the cats, right? Which is not an easy thing to do. The cats are these crazy, out-of-control, self-important influencers that have been running around destroying the great movement that President Trump took a bullet for. Erica Kirk is going to be at the State of the Union tonight with the president, as a guest of the president. And I would imagine she has been invited to be a guest of the president in direct response to this disgusting trailer that Candace Owens dropped yesterday. And maybe Bongino got her invited. Although I did see Lara Trump on Fox a little bit before the podcast, and with Clavette from Turning Point, maybe Lara Trump did it. But regardless, the president has definitely invited Erica Kirk to be at the State of the Union tonight in response to this trashing that's going on by Candace Owens. And it's pretty bad, people. I mean, this is as bad and is as low life as it can get. And kudos to Dan Bongino for standing up and doing the right thing. Someone had to do it, and he is doing it. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. I do have some other things that I'm going to get into as the program goes on here, but you're welcome to call in and share your thoughts on that. But I do want to tell you guys about Jupiter Joe Thomas. Jupiter Joe Thomas. You know, Jupiter Joe Thomas, he's in the annuity business. He's a financial planner. And annuities are an absolutely amazing thing. You know, with annuities, when you invest into an annuity, your nest egg is never at risk. Never at risk. And you're guaranteed an income stream every month for the rest of your life. That's amazing. I've been so many listeners and talked to many listeners who were clients of Jupiter Joe Thomas, took my advice, gave him a call, took advantage of that no-charge consultation, and their lives have changed because they've got that extra income coming in each and every month. Give Jupiter Joe a call. His number is 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. You can take advantage of that no-charge consultation no matter where you're located. And if you miss the number, you can go to his website, jupiterjoe.com, and find it there. Okay, now, for the past couple of days, I've been warning you about James Fishbach here in Florida. He's running for governor. We have a four-way race in the Republican primary for governor. And the front runner has been Byron Donalds. And I've been telling you guys that this Fishbach character is got a good ground game going. He's doing an event, at least one a day, somewhere in the state of Florida. He's getting huge turnouts. And Byron Donalds needs to step up the game and expose this guy, or we're going to lose. And I want to share a couple of things because I know some people think I'm freaking out too much. I'm not. There's a new poll out, just dropped today from Interactive Polls on X. And look at this. Latest poll, James Fishbach, first place, 32%. Byron Donalds, second place at 8%. Okay? And the other two are way back, 5 and 3%. Now, this was a poll of Republicans ages 18 to 34. But look at where he's at. Okay? Way ahead of Byron Donalds. And he had an event. Let me pull this up. Let me see here if I can find this. I wasn't going to play this right now, but okay. This dropped today. So I'm not sure if this was today or yesterday, but this is an event that I call him Fish Sticks, that Fishbach Fish Sticks made. Look at the size of the crowd. These are not just young people. These are older Republicans. This, of course, is in Florida. And listen to the greeting and welcoming he's getting here.
You know, I've known you before this. I know you from Incubate.
The fake news won't talk about this.
No, you know, fake news.
Look at that crowd.
But I remember Incubate debates that, you know, we're learning to speak out. And that was so great to have them trained to where they could speak with confidence.
And they could become the next Charlie Kirk in the process.
Exactly. We speak because we are Americans, and debate is the pinnacle of the constitutional development.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to turn it over to James Fishbach, and y'all don't hold back. We've got microphones over here. We've got a microphone in the aisle over here.
Okay. So, and I got another clip of him, which is very disturbing that I'm going to share in a minute. So stand by for that. My wife came up with I was telling you guys, he's fake Republican to me. He hits on all the keywords. And my wife came up with the best description for Fishbach here, Fish Sticks. And that is, he's a cosplay Republican. A cosplay Republican Fish Sticks. And when he talks, he throws out, the way to describe these keywords, he holds up these shiny keys. In this example, he throws out the fake news, won't cover this. Charlie Kirk, he throws out these shiny keys, holds them up and says, see, I'm just like you. And the reason that the cosplay Republican applies, when you watch him at these different events, and I've seen him a lot over the last 4 or 5 days because he's constantly showing up in my feed, he's always throwing out these keywords. And this other video that just dropped today, let me find this. This was really disturbing. I don't even like playing this, but normally I would not play this. because I just find it so offensive. This is somewhere in Florida, and this is Fish Sticks. And one of the things that Fish Sticks does a lot is get together with these up-and-coming anti-Semites. They say, oh, we don't hate Israel, we don't hate Jews, we're just America first. Yeah, right. There's a lot of anti-Semitism going on here. And this is a very disturbing video, a word of caution, and some, I'm Christian, okay? I'm Catholic. And this is very, very offensive to me as a Christian. So if you're like me, a Christian, but you have, a little sensitive, just a word of caution here. This is disgusting, what I'm going to show you here. This is Fish Sticks with this supporter. But you see the shiny keys to this group of people that he's throwing out there. And he's using this to build up support. All right. A word of caution. Very offensive to Christians. You're going to this clip here. Okay? So I'll give you a 3, 2, 1. You've been warned. Here's Fish Sticks. Listen.
Our politicians kiss the wall in Israel, but they won't kiss this. Let's see if they'll kiss it. Ladies and gentlemen, Jesus Christ is the truth, the way, the life. I will never kiss the wall, but I will kiss our Lord and Savior. Christ is King. 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 Christ.
See, he's got it. He does these events all over Florida, and he's got a lot of people there. And this particular clip, I mean, come on. So, those of you out there who think I'm overreacting, and I've been hearing from people this week, a lot of you think I'm overreacting to Fish Sticks. Yesterday, Ron DeSantis came out and threw Byron Donalds under the bus. And, he's building up momentum. Ron DeSantis trashed Byron Donalds. We need Byron Donalds to win this primary. A lot of people have said to me, somebody just left a comment on YouTube about this very specific thing too. Well, if Florida's so red, why do you think that if Byron Donalds does not win, that the Democrats will win the governor's race? Well, this is why. Fish Sticks here is running using what I have dubbed the Mamdani strategy. The Mamdani strategy. And what the Mamdani strategy is this, okay? Mamdani became mayor of New York with this strategy. You're a nobody that no one's heard of. You're not famous, but you've got a ground game. And this guy's rich, by the way, but he probably has Republican, never Trumper establishment people behind him, okay? But Mamdani, he became mayor because Governor Cuomo, in his arrogance, thought he was so famous, so established, and this Mamdani no one heard of, there's no way that he could beat me. I'm Governor Cuomo. Mamdani targeted him in the primary. There's always low voter turnout in off-year elections, and especially during off-year primary elections. He had his ground game together, got his vote out, and boom, he won the primary. Now he's mayor of New York City. That's what Fish Sticks is doing. The goal is not necessarily to make him the governor. The goal is to stop Byron Donalds from getting the nomination. All right? And if that happens, if Byron Donalds loses, the other people running are unknowns. The Republican, whichever one got the nomination, whether it's Fish Sticks, the lieutenant governor of Florida is running, who was not elected. The elected lieutenant governor took a job as president of Florida International University in Miami, and she left. So the current lieutenant governor was appointed, not elected. I don't even know their name, and I'm a Floridian. So we've got unknowns running. So whoever ends up with the nomination, nobody knows who they are, and there's so much division that fish sticks is causing here. We're going to be fractured in an off-year election. That means the Democrats could come in and win it. And on top of that, it would affect down-ballot races. So you've seen what I just showed you, the poll in those clips. That's just from the last 24 hours. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, Sarah from Florida. Do you really believe that we are so dumb in Florida that we would vote for that young punk? I mean, he's a Mondami, but you forget, we're not full of blue. I mean, we're not blue people. We're not like New York City to fall for that guy's crap. Mm-hmm. He's a young punk.
You don't think? Listen, everywhere he goes, he has a large crowd, and he's doing an event a day in Florida.
That's frickin' stage. I just looked at the people there. They're all young punks.
No,
there.
that video I just showed. No, excuse me. That video I just showed had people in their 40s, 50s, and older in it. They're young people too.
He looks like a Jewish boy to me.
No, he's not Jewish. He's not Jewish. He's anti-Jewish.
Well, what is he then? What's his nationality?
He's Hispanic American. I forget what nationality.
Really?
Colombian. Maybe his parents are from Colombia. Maybe.
Fishbach.
Fish sticks. Yeah. That's his name. Well, see, this is what you don't get. You don't think that there's Democrats out there that are re-registering as Republicans to vote for him in the primary in Florida? Would that be surprising to you?
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm not fooled by that crap.
Well, no, I'm not either.
Maybe Byron needs somebody to challenge him. Maybe he's ready.
Byron Donalds needs to stand up and expose this guy right quick. He's building perception. Listen, perception means a lot. And I can't go online without having him pop up in my feed.
Well, he can go after himself because I don't see it. I don't see him.
I hope you're right. Take care. Appreciate the call. No, see, this is what I'm talking about. We can't get overconfident here. We got to run like our life depends on it here. And it does. If we don't get a MAGA Republican as governor of Florida next time around in November, we're in big trouble. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right. Appreciate it. Oh, my goodness. The rest of you on hold, stand by. This is something you've got to take serious. Okay? And, I've been talking about this for the last couple of days on the program. And I know a lot of you think I'm overreacting and everything else, but you see the crowds that are showing up for him. He's got a ground game. And arrogance. Many a popular Republican has lost. I wanted to pull this up again because she was saying that it's all young people. This is the most recent event that they dropped on social media. Now look at the crowd. The woman introducing him is like 60-something years old.
I've known you before.
There's some young people there.
News won't talk about this.
No, there's fake news reporting on that.
But there's people in their 50s and 40s.
That, we're learning to speak out, and that was so great.
60s and 70s in there.
To where they could speak with confidence.
And they could become the next Charlie Kirk in the process.
See?
Exactly. We speak because we are Americans.
Shiny keys. He mentions Charlie Kirk. Get the keywords in. He's got to get those keywords in. I don't know what his relationship is with this woman. He's got his arm all over her. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, you hang in there. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, I was wondering, are you...
No. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Once, twice. All right, you lost your chance. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike. How you doing?
You know, does Candace Owens not know what she's doing? That how she's coming off by putting this thing out. If it is true that that her and Charlie Kirk dated, she's coming off as a woman scorned.
A bitter, jealous woman. Yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah, and that's not a good look for her. I mean, look, I don't particularly care for Ben Shapiro, but obviously it appears that he was the sane one in that relationship when she was with the Daily Wire.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
absolutely.
You know, I mean, she's coming off not only as a bitter woman, but she's coming off as insane.
Yeah, I mean, even Alex Jones is calling her crazy.
Absolutely, and that's the thing. And look, with this guy, this fish sticks guy, or whatever you call him, that's exactly what the Democrats want. They want dissension in the ranks so that they can get a Mamdani or just a general Democrat elected in a red state.
Yes,
you know, that's what they want.
Mm-hmm. No, you're
and
right.
I cannot get why. Well, maybe I can, but I cannot get why DeSantis is trying to mess up a Republican getting elected.
Because he's part of the establishment, and the Republican establishment don't want Byron Donalds to win because he's a MAGA Republican. That's why. It's as simple as that. I mean, it is what it is.
But they're chancing. They're chancing. You know, how many years has the governorship been a Republican governorship over
Since
there?
1998. 28 years.
They're chancing you guys, the Republicans losing a governorship by doing this.
That's correct. Yeah. They're willing. See, the Republican establishment would. This is. Think about this. Now, listen to what I'm telling you here. The Republican establishment, the Bush wing of the Republican Party, the Republican establishment would rather control the loss than lose the victory. Meaning, they're prepared to lose some upcoming elections, even the presidential elections for a while, so that they can get back in power and purge themselves of MAGA.
Well, that's exactly what the late great Rush Limbaugh would say. They'd rather be in the minority,
correct,
and be able to snipe at people
and run the party. If they're in the minority and control the party, it's better than controlling the party or the party being in control, being the majority and not being in control of the party. Appreciate the call, Mike. You know, does that make sense? They would rather be in the minority and control the party than the Republicans be in the majority and not control the party. And that's why they don't want Byron. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's Sue from Aventura. How you doing?
All right, Aventura. What's on your mind?
I just want to let everybody know, I can't say too much, but I've been working for the government for 40 years. And I just want to let you know, and everybody in your audience know, this is the best administration we have ever had in 60 years. And you people who talk about Trump and you call this and you call up and you say bad things, would you rather have cocaine and sex in your White House?
I think they would.
Think so.
I think they would.
Oh, my
That didn't seem to bother them.
Oh, I have been crying. I don't sleep. You know, I had to get the stupid shot. I'm not even going to start. You people have no idea what kind of a president you have in the office right now. And nothing better happen to this man. And I just want to say that everybody, please stay together. It's going to get bad before it gets good. Mm-hmm. And please love this president, love this administration. You have no idea how wonderful this administration and this president is.
Absolutely.
And Brian, too.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.
All right, take care.
Brian, for letting me talk.
All right,
Bye-bye.
Aventura, take care. Thank you. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Sean from Massachusetts.
Oh, hey, Sean, what's up?
Oh. Well, this whole thing going on in Florida, and as you were saying, this is just an example of the system trying to protect itself and the establishment and everything that's going on with that. I mean, we know that the establishment Republicans and the Democrats do backdoor deals all the time. They're all one and the same. And the thing is if Byron Donalds, steps forward, Donald Trump's got his back, I think that there's a good chance. I mean, yes, we have to stop this monster while it's small.
Well, you know what I'm really... I feel like I'm the only person in the state of Florida that's taking fish sticks here as a serious danger in the primary. And I feel like a man alone here.
Well, you've called out other things that everyone else caught on to after the fact. You could be on to something big here.
I want to be wrong about this. I want to be so wrong about this.
I know. I can imagine. I mean, that's the worst. The worst scenario that could happen for you guys. I mean, you've always had a Republican governor, since '98, and I think this is something you should continue to do. Yep. And the thing is that what's going to happen is it's going to disrupt and it's going to embolden the establishment.
No doubt.
You guys have, if a blue streak gets in there. I know. I live in Massachusetts. I know exactly how the Democrats run. And the thing is that the one thing that Byron Donalds, like you said, has to do, he has to be aggressive. And he has to
immediately.
He has to wave that MAGA immediately, and he has to do it right now. Yeah, and as far as somebody like a Mamdani, look what this guy does in New York City. Okay, he asked for 2 forms of identification with your picture to shovel snow
and a social security card.
You don't need any. Right, you don't have to do anything to vote though. And see, this is the kind of thing that would happen when you get like these hammerheads. That would come into your state, as great as it is. And I think that, I think really what has to happen is it has to be buckled down.
Let me tell you, if Fish Sticks if Byron Donalds loses the primary, we could lose the governor's race or get some joke fake Republican as governor. And if they're successful in Florida with this Mamdani strategy with Fish Sticks here, next stop is Texas. Hey, I appreciate the call. All right, you take care. Their next stop will be Texas. I promise you. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Can you hear me? My Bluetooth is best now.
No, I can't hear you at all. I want to tell you about Tom LaPorta at LaPorta Roofing. Tom LaPorta at LaPorta Roofing, he's a good MAGA guy. He'll never sell you a roof you do not need. And what that means is if you just need a simple repair, he will do it. It's amazing, huh? I've talked to many listeners who have called him out, thought they needed a whole new roof. He said, no, you just need a repair. One of the ones he told was a guy who had a leak, and he had a bad leak up in his ceiling. He thought his roof was trash. Tom came out, and his AC line, his air conditioning line, was leaking water from the air conditioner into his ceiling. He's like, oh, wow, well, there was another listener who had Tom come out to give him an estimate on a new roof at a condominium building. That's a big job, 6-figure job. He had had a couple other roofers come out before Tom got out there. The other roofer said they needed a whole new roof. Tom LaPorta came out and said, no, you just need a repair. Can you imagine? That's amazing. Give Tom LaPorta a call. He covers both the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between. His number is 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. That's 954-604-4602. And online, LaPortaRoofing.com. All right? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Merle from Kentucky.
Hey, Kentucky.
Hey, I used to live in Florida. Lived there for about 25 years, military rights.
Yep.
And I think you're right on. I think you're right on the money about Mr. Fishsticks. And people do need to pay attention. I don't live there anymore, so I can't vote there. But I do support Byron Donalds for the governorship of Florida. This other guy is way too young. He doesn't have experience. And I'm encouraging anybody who's listening to this in the state of Florida, go on to Byron Donalds' website, his campaign website, and volunteer, get involved, and complain. Complain to them, to his team, that you don't see the ground game. There's only 5 months left until the
primary's in August. The primary's in August. And if Byron doesn't step up soon, they got a debate coming up. Okay? He has got to fillet this guy in the debate, because if he doesn't, perception is this guy's building up momentum.
Yeah. He's had experience as a state rep for Florida. He's had experience now as a U.S. congressman. So he's very well experienced in the political world.
See, this is one of the times when Charlie Kirk would have intervened and Fish Sticks would be out. Because, Fish Sticks is gaining ground with young people. And Charlie Kirk would be calling him out on his podcast and probably would be doing some appearances in Florida, taking care of business. But he's not with us anymore. What's that?
No, he's not.
He's like
this Fish Sticks guy. This Fish Sticks guy even kind of looks like Mamdani.
Little bit.
A beard.
Yeah.
He's just, it's scary. It's scary, and I'd hate to see Florida lose a good Republican governor.
Yeah.
So I think you're right about the old guard is running this.
All right, Kentucky. Thanks for the call. You made some good points. Thanks so much. See, here's the thing. Byron Donalds is an enemy of both the Democrats and the Republican establishment. Republican establishment don't like him because he's a MAGA Republican. Okay? The Democrats are freaked out because he's a black Republican. Byron Donalds will be the first black governor elected here in Florida. And for the first black governor to be a Republican, the Democrats, they're like, we haven't been in the governor's mansion in 28 years. Okay, so now we got a black Republican. We're done forever in Florida. So the Republican establishment and the Democrats both want Byron Donalds to lose the primary. They're trying to cause him to lose the primary. They know that if he wins the primary, he will win the election. But they're trying to cost him the primary. And maybe I'm off base. I want to be so wrong about this, guys. I want to be completely wrong about this. But it's better to be prepared, isn't it? Now, when this debate coming up, I haven't seen the date yet, but they both have agreed. Byron Donalds agreed to debate him. He's got to take him down and expose him during that debate. If Byron Donalds does that, okay. But we're going to see what Fish Sticks is like. I mean, he's good with the platitudes and the talking points. I've not seen him in a debate. So he may be a very skilled debater and be able to handle Byron Donalds. I don't know. It's an unknown. We'll find out. And I hope it's televised. Usually primary debates and state gubernatorial races don't get televised. I hope this one gets televised. It has national implications because it could impact the entire midterms. If Byron Donalds loses the primary, he's endorsed by the president. So that would do a lot of damage to President Trump's endorsement credibility. So goes the media, right? The media would hype on that, like, oh, the Trump endorsement didn't work. Fish Sticks won. Byron Donalds lost. You understand? And what impact would that have around the country during the midterms? What impact would that have in down ballot races here in Florida for House races? It'd be devastating. If you're new to my program, make sure you subscribe, okay? My name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Anytime I'm live streaming in the studio, I'm taking live calls like you've heard me do on this program. I'm live every morning from 6 until 9 a.m. Eastern, and I'm live 7 days a week. And you catch me here in the afternoon on the channel too. But make sure you subscribe. And everyone who's already subscribed, please do me the favor of liking the video. Liking the video helps spread the word about the channel to people that have not yet found me. So please don't go without liking the video. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I will talk to you next time. Take care.